And our main speaker for this evening is Rick.
Are we recording? Yeah. Oh, crap. Hey, everyone. My name's Rick Collins, and I'm an alcoholic. I'll break this quickly. My sobriety date is July 4th, 1991. Thank you guys for inviting me. Kyle and Chris, man. This place looks like the first meeting I walked into a long time ago. And it smells like it, and you guys look like the people that were there that night when I walked in there on a July 4th night, a Friday night, homeless, scared to death, near death. And when I was walking through the door, I got to the parking lot, and I was going to turn and leave. And this is how God works. This blonde guy grabbed me and said, "Hey, are you looking for the A meeting?" And I said, "Yeah, kind of. He said, come on in." No, I'm looking for my Lamborghini. It's a shot. And he said, "Come on in and sit down. But before I go any further, welcome to every new person in this room and every person that picked up a chip. And I hope that there's some type of identification with my talk tonight about what you guys did for me and how these steps work that I never thought would work, and this power that you guys introduced me to that has been absolutely overwhelming in my life, especially the last 2 years. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys for putting up with all my crap and all my mouth and all my shoulda, coulda, woulda, and what about me? And it's just been a lot of neat things have happened. And before I tell my story, we're driving over here with my boys, and I'm proud of these guys, Jared and Tyler, Dane Boyd, Daniel, and, the book talked about the joy of working with new people, and these guys are so much fun to be around, and that's what y'all did for me when I was new. You brought me to these things. But about 20 minutes out from here, my phone rang. I said, "Hey, it's Carl Otto, guy from Maryland. Carl, what's going on?" He goes, "Hey, Rick, how you doing?" I said, "I'm great, man." I said, he said, "I'm moving to Florida." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm moving to Tampa." I said, "Son of a gun, I'm speaking in Port Richey tonight." He goes, my friend Steve's bringing me to the meeting." 2 months ago, I'm in Alabama with him in the woods with 149 other guys talking about God and AA. That parallels with the Lamborghini story. But I don't want to confuse how important you guys are to me, and I don't want to not forget the new people that picked up these chips. I know that this looks like a load of crap to you new people, because it did to me. There's no way 4 and 5 are coming into play in my life. And God's thoroughly finished with me, so that's not going to happen either. So please get infected with these people that are... This is a 3 legacy meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I really appreciate that. And thank you again. So I was born and raised in Daytona Beach, Florida. For some reason, I'm sort of proud of that. There's nothing... I get laughed at a lot. I'm used to it. I am an older gentleman in a mature body with an attention span of like a 2 or 3 year old. But I was born and raised in Daytona, and what I really remember the most about growing up was 2 older brothers. 2 brothers. The older one is still with us. The younger one passed away. And my mom and dad seemed to drink a lot. But my experience, my whole story was based around me having to go to school or do these things, and I just could not concentrate. I couldn't, like 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, what are they talking about, And I don't know what I'm thinking about, the beach or something, and math and science. And, your teachers want to see your mom and dad. And that's information that's going to come back to you. And you know, he's not a bad kid. He just can't pay attention. He talks a lot. He's playing grab butt a lot with the girls, you know. And then and they're trying so hard. And my doggone little brother, nothing phases him. Maths, he's making straight A's. You know, he's like all that stuff. And so I get into junior high school. I don't know what's going on again. And I'm like, man, this is so difficult. But all my life, people have been trying to help me. All my life, including up until this date. You know, the English teacher said, Ricky, just sit still. Just open the book. You know, quit punching her. And and my parents are they're like, what's wrong with you? You know, and I didn't have a good answer. I still don't. And so then I got introduced. My older brother, this was a while back. I know you don't think that I'm old, but I am. This was a while back kind of in the hippie days. My brother was introduced into that hippie culture. And that flowed over into me. Before I started drinking, I was doing a lot of crazy stuff with a lot of crazy things. And I never want to piss anybody off at AA, and I never want to embarrass anybody. I know how to dress at AA, and I know how to talk properly without swearing, because my sponsor's really keen on that. And so I get involved in these drugs and stuff. And in the middle of 10th grade, I walked out of school. Science, they're talking about stuff, and I just walked out. And my parents were kind of fed up with me. There was a lot of craziness in my family because of their alcoholism or their big drinking, whatever it was. And so I just went I went surfing. You know, I was good at surfing. I was a really good surfer, and living in that. And so from that 10th grade age, whatever that is, till I was about 20 years old, I was not controllable. Stay at the house, get kicked out of the house, go stay with somebody, go do a bunch of crazy stuff. All that fast drugs were coming out and all this different stuff. And I had zero supervision. My mom and dad had given up. And I started getting sent to places that I didn't want to go. Ricky, you're going to Turning Point in Pompano Beach, Florida. It's a rehab center. You're going to love it. You know? And my life till I got to AA, I was a ball in a pinball machine. They were clicking me up there, clicking me over here, clicking me here. And I would go to Turning Point, and I would learn Bible scriptures, and you get a weekend pass, and you go to the mall and smoke and get some, and that's what we did. And and then I got one of the best things ever is me and my sidekick Smitty. There'll be laughter to this story. He got a PDR, physician's desk reference. And he starts flipping through that, and he said, we're gonna write some prescriptions for the diet pills, which are methamphetamine. I weighed about $120. He weighed 110, and so we're trying to take prescriptions into the drugstores for methamphetamine. So I got in trouble for that. I wound up at a drug rehab center. I graduated with honors. I'm the best starter in the world. I go from janitor to vice president. And then I, steal the whole company or something. So I got out of the drug rehab center and was doing great. And then I got in trouble again. I did another prescription run. It didn't work, and they threw me in jail. Then they got me back into that rehab center. At this point, it had gotten what 20-year-old kids or 20, however I was, should be doing at that age. It was fast, and they got me back in reality house instead of jail. And I got out of there, and I really took off this time. I got my GED. And then the guy said, you should go to some college classes. Don't laugh. And so I took a couple of half a dozen courses, but they were like sociology, where you talk and you ponder things. No science, no math, no physics, or none of that stuff. And this girl that I dated in the 8th grade. I went to the dentist office, and she worked there, and everybody's in charge of my life back then. She said, hey, we should date. Okay, we should date. We're good along, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're playing house, you know, and I look good. From the thing, I look really good. I'm going to college, living in a condo right by the beach, working as a night counselor at the drug rehab and going to class. And she said, we should get married. You know, and I'm not, you know, I don't have a face. Okay, you know, we'll get married. So intermittently, when these things are going on, I'm saying to myself at night, I have no idea what's going on in this world and how it works. I don't know what's going on, you know, scared to death, you know, and I really am clueless. So then, evidently, if you go on honeymoons and you follow through with the behavior of a honeymoon, there's the possibility of a pregnancy. There was. She gets pregnant and she has a baby 3 months premature. She almost dies. We're in the hospital every night feeding her. She goes down to 2 pounds. And I was standing outside the hospital and I said, my God, I'm married. I got a baby. I don't know how to do none of this stuff. And so she came to her senses, and the term "not as advertised" came up with me and my behavior. So she divorced me, and I went on a tailspin romp. Who gives a crap? Drinking and carrying on in Daytona Beach, ripping and running and getting a job and doing good and everything, blah 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 that you just can't. You know, you guys know what I did because you did it also, and. No more jobs. We ain't hiring you. Stuff turns up missing. You ain't staying here because stuff turns up missing. And my brothers are done with me. My mom is still alive. My dad has passed. And I don't know what's going on. And it was horrible, y'all. And you know exactly how I feel. The lonely desperation. The 4 horsemen were all over my butt. I can go sleep in Thumper's truck tonight in the back of his camper. I'll crawl back in there. I'll go ask James for a job. I won't steal nothing. Just, it'll be okay, you know. And then you don't show up and you don't do all these things. And you're thinking about suicide. And you're not going to have the courage to do that. So I walked down to my brother's house, and I knocked on the door. 2 brothers living together. You know, one of them's dealing cocaine, one of them's a truck driver. Somewhere I can fit in there. The great thinker, you know. So they said, yeah, you can stay here, Ricky, but no stealing, no drinking, no carrying on, none of the crap that you normally do. You can't do that. We don't want any more of that. So I laid low for a couple of days, and then I went and did what I stole some money, you know, and I got into the cocaine baggie, and it just, you know, you lay in bed for a day and a half or 2 days. It just absolutely, how in God's name did this happen to me? I was really a good ball player. I was really good in baseball and stuff like that. And I swear to you, I just wanted to be the shortstop of the New York Yankees. But you have to have talent for that. There's that. To be able to do it, man. So, but we played a lot of softball in my drinking day too, so that was fun. So this kind of had to come to an end. So I stole the older brother's credit card. This is my last drinking thing. I got to finish at 8:25, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I stole my brother's credit card, and I holed up in this motel just down the street from where I stole the credit card. And I stole the younger brother's bike and the older brother's credit card. Off I went to the liquor store, you know, and I bought some booze. You're not Garrett Collins. Give us your ID. I said, I left it in the Lamborghini. It's a Lamborghini, you know. And so the manager calls the manager. He said, he looks okay to me. Let him have the bottle. And so I'm drinking in this rock-up motel, in the Holly House Motel. It's on US 1 in Hollyhill, Florida. There is not a golf course there. There's not a pool. There's no spa. There is 2 double beds, the dresser, and the 13-inch black and white TV. But it'll work. You know, that was a lay-low type of place. So I was sitting there going and getting booze and drinking at night and just trying to figure this stuff out. And it was horrible, y'all. It sucked. And it wasn't funny. And on the spare bed, which I kept nice and neat in case somebody wanted to come over, you know, you could invite a girl over to the Holly house. I believe some of this crap, y'all, and y'all did too. So in my little Winn-Dixie bag was everything that I owned. There was 2 of them. There was one dress shirt, 1 pair of dress jeans, and the rest of my clothing. And then there was a newspaper article from 1984 in the Daytona News Journal. Miller Lite softball team wins national championship. Ricky Collins, blah, blah, blah. It's a true story. And maybe. So, and then there was this article. There was that article, and there was this love letter from this girl from like the 9th grade. And I'm drinking this cheap ABC rum, and I'm reading this love letter from a million years ago. And I'm just crying like a little baby. And you guys seem to have houses and cars and wives. And you got a daughter somewhere, Rick. I won't touch that. I haven't seen her since the 4th grade. I ain't entering that zip code. I don't know where she is. And my younger brother's trying to say, hey, Ashley's back in town. You want to meet her? She's getting married. No, I'm not doing that. And so, flipping through the newspaper looking for jobs. I had one good job prior to getting, I was a sales rep for Panama Jack, running around doing that. FYI for the people the new people in the room, if you don't go make a sales call, you don't make any sales. But I had this cool van with all the t-shirts in it, giving those away. So there was this article in the paper about New Life Sober House. So I'm reading this. I'm like, all right, let's not get too carried away here. I'm looking for jobs. I'm walking or riding a bike to these jobs in Daytona in June. It's 140 degrees outside, and I'm showing up, you know, in that one dress shirt, dress pants, asking for a job with no ID, no driver's license, none of that stuff. And so it's like the phone call from Carl tonight, and it's like all the other things that happened to me in Alcoholics Anonymous. I, for some reason, picked up. I was watching, honest to God, a rerun of Andy Griffith on the black and white Sony, and I was drinking a drink, and I just started crying. I just started crying like a friggin' baby. I was so lost, so sick. So the 4 horsemen were all over me. And how can this end, please? I called Alcoholics Anonymous. My mom had gone to that periodically. She was she'd sober up and get drunk, and the guy answered the phone. Pete. He said, hey, what's your story, man? I said, I can't quit drinking. He said, where you at? I said, the Holly House Motel. He said, well, come get you. Kind of a prideful fellow. I said, I'll get there. take the Lamborghini, you know. So I got on the stolen bicycle and rode down to the meeting, and they had a foyer, and at 7 o'clock Friday night, they were going to start the meeting. They walked in and didn't talk to me. I was somewhat pissed about that. And then, so I went back out to the phone booth, and I called AA, and Pete, the Almas Club, Pete answered the phone. He said, how come you didn't go in? I said, they weren't very nice to me. He said, you don't want to get sober. I didn't know what that meant, but I said, yes, I do. Where are you at? He said, I'm at the Almas Club. We'll come get you. I said, I got this. My mother used to go to the Almas Club, and the women would come get her after being in delirium tremors. She would drink her way into the hospital. These ladies would come, give her the message of AA, and take her to the Almas Club. So I rode my bike over to the Denny's. And this is just me, y'all. You're not foolish like me. And I went in there and ordered steak and shrimp and a Michelob Light from Denny's. Do you want to know what the steak and shrimp tasted like at Denny's? It was pretty tough, and they were very small shrimp. Drinking a Michelob Light, telling the waitress a lie about why I'm riding a bike. The Lamborghini's in the garage. But what happened to me while I was in there, somebody stole my brother's damn bicycle. And if you want to piss a thief off, steal from him. So I walked down to the Alamos Club, and I made it down there just before the meeting started. And that's when that man grabbed me and turned me around. I walked into the meeting. Peter, who answered the phone, said, "Are you Rick?" I said, "I am." He said, "Sit down." Just like, listen, just like that welcoming group that was here for this meeting for the next new guy that walks through that door and says, "I'm scared to death. I don't know what AA is, but please help me." I had to be on my face. And I sat through the meeting. Back then it was smoking, man. You couldn't see the 12 steps and the 12 traditions because of the smoke, and they were all yellow. But I was feeling this hope from the talk that was going around. But if you look at those 12 steps, that looks like punishment. You know what I mean? That doesn't look like the road to nirvana. You know? I see that God word, and spiritual awakening. Oh my God, it's like math and science again. Thank God for the people of Alcoholics Anonymous, because after the meeting, 4 people walked up to me. Not any different than the 4 men in this room tonight. Pete was there, young Danny, and a guy named Vic. And Vic, I don't know who the 4th guy was. And Vic was Tom Brady. He said, "Rick, let me ask you something." He said, "Can you not drink tonight?" And for once in my life, I said, "I'm going to drink. There's no way I can not drink. I'm drinking tonight." He said he needs to go to detox. I'm like, hey, whoa. I've never been to detox, and, you know, and I said, "I got all my stuff at Ollie House Motel. We'll go by there and get it. I need cigarettes. Go by and get them some." And we were talking about salesmen earlier. That you guys are the best salespeople in the world. You can sell us on them 12 damn steps. You think that's the answer to our problem versus a girl, a Datsun pickup, a house, a little puppy, and a fence? Now that's what I need. He said, "Take him and let him get all his stuff. Take him to detox. Oh, and if he's not drunk enough, they got a rule out there now. If you're not drunk enough, they won't let you in. Give him a pint of liquor." So young Danny's going to give me some cigarettes because I'm out, and I might get a pint of liquor. And I'm going to detox where I'm protected from my older brother killing me for the stolen credit card. So I get in there. I'm scared to death. They take me in, and they're talking to me and taking my blood pressure. And they said, "Hey, your blood count level is probably," I forget what it was. It wasn't any more than y'all's, but I like to brag. You know? and he said, "Man, your liver is not producing the whatever it's supposed to do. It's not, it's not working. Your liver's probably not working." And I did what all good men do. I started crying like a baby. You know? And he went like this, and he put a Valium in my mouth. And I had 2 packs of Marlboros, a Valium, and 2 bags of stuff, and I got a room tonight. So I sat through detox, and a guy came in. "This is just like your call, Carl. This is just like your call." A guy comes in 2 hours later that I drank with. He has 1 leg, and he's lost the artificial leg that he's supposed to have. He looks worse than me. He's grass in his hair. "Hey, Ricky, how you doing, man? Room together." And he's sober. We're in detox together, and he says to me, I said, "David, what's the deal with this AA?" He said, "It really works." I said, "I was sober about 2 years. I worked the steps. I got a sponsor." All right. So he got out. I thought about this coming home from the men's meeting Thursday night. There's a 7-Eleven right in the center of Daytona over the beach by where the bike week stuff happens and all that stuff. David Freeze got out of detox a few days before me, and he called me and said, "Ricky, me and so-and-so," he took some girl out of detox with him, "we're behind the 7-Eleven on Ocean Avenue. Come on over. We got a motel room tonight, and I got a bunch of beer." and I stayed in detox. How did that happen? I stayed in detox. So when one of my nights I was reading in there about this place called New Life, it was a sober house, and the counselor kept saying, "You're leaving tomorrow, where are you going?" I had no place to go. He said, "There's this place called New Life. I'll drop you off on the way home. Your stay's up, you gotta go. You can't go to the individual treatment. You're too much of a pain in the butt." No, he didn't say that, Bob. So he drops me off at this New Life, and they tell me all that stuff. So it's, what, I got? Okay, cool. I promise I'll get done on time. So I check into this New Life place. It's nothing like what it said in the newspaper. We cook your food for you. You'll love it here. It's 14 guys in an air-conditioned house about 2 blocks off the beach in Daytona, and it's July. Out 105 in the room. You know, and I'm so happy to be there. I go to the meeting the first night I get out. Peter's there. Will you sponsor me? Yeah, and we go in. We start to dance. And for the first 3 days, I think New Life is the Waldorf Astoria. Love this place, man. And then all of a sudden, I was like, yeah, this place sucks. No AC, these guys are blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to meetings and all that stuff. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to work. I don't know how you guys convinced me or sold me on the fact that this thing will work. Shut up, Ricky. We don't care what you think. You rode your bicycle over here to do step work with me. You know that girl you're talking to? Are you going to take her for a ride on the bike? You know? They hit you with these facts that are hard to, try to move. And they convinced me to do the steps, and they told me that this stuff worked. We had guys picking us up, taking us to the friggin' meetings, taking us to conferences. And you could see, man, there's some people got some stuff going on, Alcoholics Anonymous. They're smiling, they're laughing. There's glass in each pair of glasses, and there's just, and they're saying, "Hey, come here, man, you new? Yeah, keep coming back, dude. Try shutting your mouth, lose some of those opinions, clean up your language, just keep coming back." So I'm proceeding through the steps, and I get through I fired my sponsor because he wanted me, listen to this bull. He wanted me to work on my 4-step for 15 minutes a day. Thought that was outlandish. But so anyways, I quit. I fired Peter, and there was, I hate to say this, there was this girl, and her sponsor, I knew this girl from back in the day, and her and another girl were saying, "Come on, man, do what you got to do," and all that stuff. And her sponsor's husband showed up at the Monday night meeting, he said, "Look, have all your stuff at my house at 10 o'clock Saturday morning. We're going to do your 5th step." Now, I got several more pages to write on that, blah, blah, blah. Went over to his house that Saturday morning and did the steps, and I got the 4th and 5th step done, and I got all that poison and all that crap out that was just destroying me, those secrets that I had that all of the guys know what I'm talking about in here. Survived it like nobody's business, guys. And then shortly thereafter, I got to this cool job as maintenance man at whatever I was doing, and that girl asked me to move in with her. So I'm living at this sober house for 7 months. No AC. The food sucks. The guys all suck. This is back in the day of console TVs. So Lynn has this apartment with potpourri, AC blasting. All of her clothes are like lined up. And this is the true tale of a real house. All of her plates are the same color and the same size. Silverware all lines up. But she came up with that same thing about I'm not as advertised. And she booted me out. And rightfully so, when you're stalking and, all that stuff. You can imagine 7 months sober and being as full of crap as me. But nobody ever gave up on me, and everybody tried to help me. So I got that job back with Panama Jack, and I started making a boatload of money. I started traveling a lot, and I started collecting trinkets. Those come in the form of gold watches, crafts that go in the ocean, cars, fake Lamborghinis, whatever, and I was going to one meeting a week, and I was the most arrogant, obnoxious human being in the world. But Panama Jack's telling me, salesman of the year, blah, you're the, whoa, man, your figures are insane. I started believing my own bull crap, had no principles whatsoever in my life, no clue about Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm going to Sunday night meeting, critiquing everybody in there. And I'm dangerously close to who knows what. Didn't have the courage to kill myself. Knew drinking wouldn't work, but I just was miserable as hell. And so, you're probably not supposed to be playing the thing that's recording, correct? So I run into this guy. I got a house, I got this job, I got this sports car, I got no God and no AA, and I haven't made this amends with my daughter because it requires backbone and courage. And if you quit working the steps, the next right thing doesn't even enter your zip code. So this guy, you guys know him, Joe Krogan. He doesn't, he and I are running partners, and he and I are both flatlined, and he's got a little nicer watch than me, but we're doing all that stuff. We get called to Nashville to go to this men's retreat, and I'm like 8 or 9 or 10 years sober, but just as obnoxious as you can be. And I'm not proud of that, and it's not funny, but it happened. And so we go up there to Nashville, and we run into a pocket of enthusiasm. We get there on Thursday, and we go to a couple of treatment centers. These guys are running around like Grant took Richmond. And they are doing something really odd. They're going and getting the newcomer's phone number and saying, I'll call you tomorrow. I'm walking around saying, if you want me to sponsor, you call me tomorrow. I'm beating people over the head with a book. So the men's retreat starts Friday afternoon, 150 men out in the woods talking about God and AA. And they were talking about God and the steps and the traditions and kindness and love, tolerance. How can I best serve thee? And Joe and I are dumbfounded. Whoa, we are so far off the track. It's ridiculous. So we left there. Joe and I came home. We came home. We said, hey, what are we going to do, man? I don't know, but they got something going on that we ain't got. One of us said, I'll take credit because Joe isn't here. I said, when Joe comes, he's going to take credit. He will. My dearest friend. And he said, let's get in one of my offices and go through the steps together. We redid the steps, we read those words for what they meant, and started doing things for what that meant. And after we got done with that, one of us said, hey, what should we do? He said, let's start a little meeting, and we'll bring our sponsees in also. And it was 20 guys, it was 30 guys. And we were inviting these young guys in to come into our meeting. Say, under no circumstances are you going to be hollered at here. We give you the first 15 minutes to talk about anything you want. Drug addict, you're a junkie, you're a cross-dresser, we do not care. Can you identify with alcoholism or drug addiction in this room tonight? And after that's over, we start reading the first 164 pages. And it caught fire. 100 guys, 60 guys, 50, it's just jumping around, and they're bringing their guys in. Everybody's going, what the hell's going on? And we're called the usual suspects, because that's what we are. We're the usual suspects. So we kept, from 2008 is when we got lit on fire, middle of 7 through 8. We go to the usual suspects every year except for the COVID year. And we are fully engaged in Alcoholics Anonymous. And through God's grace, in what these men in Nashville showed us, we have a pocket of enthusiasm in Central Florida between Daytona Beach and Palm Coast. And I love Alcoholics Anonymous beyond a shadow of a doubt. that stuff, those things are so real to me. You can't talk about what's happened to you without it sounding like you're bragging. But this God has presented himself to me, this power, whoever yours is. I'm not trying to piss nobody off. Whoever your God is, this thing has become so real to me that it's undeniable. The 12 and 12, I'll throw a little scripture in here. The 12 and 12 says, for you new guys who don't see the effects taking place, we have noticed that you have come to call him by name and you love him. It's in the 12th step of the 12 and 12. And that's where my life is right now. I got diagnosed with the C word about 1.5 years ago. I'm okay, man. I'm okay. I'm going to be just fine. All my guys rallied around me. The cancer's in remission. It ain't kicking my ass. I ain't going to let that happen to me. I got things to do for Alcoholics Anonymous because of this power. So, and I run with the greatest group of guys in the world. Look at them. I mean, they're smiling and they're happy. We talked all the way over here. And that's what those 4 guys did for me that night. Hey, Rick, if you can keep your mouth shut, we'll let you go on the golf trip. Shut up. And you're not wearing that damn Hawaiian shirt. We wear golf shirts out there. You know, and then slowly but surely, you hey man, I guess I'm a member of AA. And wait a minute, maybe this is all true. Maybe this is real. And your eyes my eyes have gotten open wider and wider and wider about who this power is and what he wants for me. No Lamborghini, but there's some things going. There's some stuff going on. I got a little business that I love to work because it's based on principles, actions, and I just don't want to sound like I'm showing off. But I got this big giant smile and these blue eyes. They're lit up by this. They're just lit up by it. The best story's coming up about my daughter. I'm trying to figure out. You know, you can get. I'm tired of beating people over the head with the big book. That crap doesn't work anymore. Just come on in and sit down and join us is our message. It works for the lady that just picked up a chip. It works for the lady that just got a year. It works for my homeboys from Palm Coast. They come up and say, hey, I just got we got a car, I got a fake Rolex. They just, and if you hang out with these people, there's just all this giant laughter. It's from your gut. We're not hurting anybody. We go do some of the funnest stuff in the world. And I don't know how to thank you. But I know lately here, I'm in my house by myself, and I got this stray cat that I took in. I'm a champion for underdogs and for children. I love any underdog I see or any child I see. And this cat's kind of laying in my legs, and I'm in tears. And there's nothing making me cry. It's just this. I bet you my blood pressure is 120/7. I better calm down here. Whoops. So let me finish with my daughters, with the story about my daughter. I love AA. Before I forget to tell you all this, I love it. It's cured me. It's changed my life. It's shown me what life means. It's shown me what it means to help another person see this light. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Oh, the 4th step isn't punishment. It's for release. Oh, transformation means change of character. Oh, okay. That wouldn't hurt you 3, by the way. So I wish the guy was supposed to come with me. Was with me that night. One afternoon, we were. I was in Home Depot, and I hadn't finished my amends. That would require way too much courage and stuff like that. And I had a sponsor that 55 years when he died. Loved him to death, Duke, and all that stuff. So I bought his condominium as a kind of thing we remodeled it. We're going to sell it. So me and the guy I'm sponsoring, Matt, sponsored forever, dear friend, I love him. We're buying something at Home Depot, and I'm standing in line, and there's this person staring at me. And Matt was standing right here, and I said, hey, Matt. And, you know, Matt's almost as ADD as me. He was on his phone or looking at balloons or something, you know. Matt. So there's somebody staring at me right here. And he goes, so? And the adrenaline hit me right here, and it started here and it went all the way through my body. I could feel that, you know, I knew that there was a baby or a stolen car or something involved in this stare. And so none of these stories are exaggerations. And I'm not much better today. So she kind of moved out of the scene, and me and Mr. A is going to teach my boy a thing. We're going to take back what we got and put it on the shelf because it doesn't fit. Walk around the corner at Home Depot, and there's this girl standing there, and she said, hey, what's your name? I said, Rick Collins. She was on the phone. She handed me the phone, and she said, I said, hello. And she said, hey, Rick, this is Cindy, your ex-wife. That's your daughter. I went like this. Hey, what's up, girl? I didn't say that, but you were talking about the most scared human being in life. And I sponsored Matt for 15 years, and he's going outside to smoke. I said, get your ass back right here. So we uncomfortably are talking, man. This has been since the 4th grade. And I was trying to do a salesman's crap. I don't know what I was doing. And we talked for about 30 minutes, and she said, hey, I said, put your number in my phone, please. I promise I'll call you or text you tomorrow. Called Harold Long, my sponsor. He said, okay, here's what you're going to do, Hot Rod, and you're going to do this exactly the way I say it. You're not calling her, you're not bugging her, you're not buying her nothing. We're going to do this strictly by her rules. Kind of rude. But so I texted her just about every day, honey, I'm thinking about you and I love you. Or whatever it was. And just scratching my head. And then one day, out of the clear blue, I called her and I said, honey, where are you? And she said, I'm at Discount Tires. And I said, hey, can I come get you and take you to lunch? She said, sure, Daddy. And I did have a cool sports car at the time. Wheeled into Discount Tires, and she's out there with the guys, and they said, who's that? What's the car? And she said, I think that's my daddy. We rolled down to this Mexican place and had lunch. Tried to explain my alcoholism. Sorry I wasn't around. Her boyfriend keeps whipping in. He's running interference as a bouncer. Don't blame him. He has every right to be. And we just slowly formed this relationship. You know, okay. And then all of a sudden her little friend said, your daddy's kind of a cool guy. Let's start hanging out with him. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so cool. And my daughter really likes me. So I forget what anniversary it was at this home group that I've been a member of for 1,000,000 years. So it's my, 18th anniversary, and everybody was there, and they abused me a lot. You know, they were teasing me a lot during the meeting. And my daughter was there with her boyfriend, Sean. And a lot of laughter, a lot of AA gut laughter. You know, they were just picking on me unmercifully. And you're next. So after the meeting, she called one of her friends, Kristen, and said, Kristen, you got to meet these people. They're the coolest people I've ever met. Now, what happens if my daughter catches alcoholism? What's the definition she has in her head? You're the coolest people she's ever met. If you don't have any place to go for Thanksgiving or Christmas, Daddy, is she in the club? Is he in the club? Yeah, bring them over. Or they can eat at the house. So, I mean, and her and I are like best friends now. I absolutely forgot her August 28th birthday. And I called her 2 days later. I said, Dad, your dad did it again. She said, we're okay, Dad. Don't worry about it. I love you and all that stuff. She said, take me out to dinner on my birthday Sunday night this coming. She said, well, take me out to dinner Sunday night. Me and you and Sean and whoever you're dating at this time. And so I as of late, I'm just trying to put into words. Is it 2 minutes?
I guess 9 minutes. Go to 25.
When I was 1 year old. It just comes to me really quick to be like Dennis, like Beavis and Butthead. It's so hard for me to explain to you or put in words to you what spiritual stuff does to you. I can't quote the Ten Commandments, and I can't quote any scripture. I know enough about the big book to impress these guys. But what I've learned is what I've been shown. And what I've been shown is like love and kindness. And come on over and speak in Port Richey. Or all these different things that I've been asked to do and or been able to do for somebody else. And when I see you guys, I'm just like, come on, man. If I hear that saying one more time, keep coming back, that is the worst saying in the world. We ask you to don't leave. We ask you to get involved. Get with some people that have a pocket of enthusiasm that can show you that steps. Go hang out with people that call you 45 minutes from when you, 20 minutes from when you got to talk, and they're going to be at the meeting. That's God making a bank shot. I know people everywhere, man. That's the best salesman in the room right there. And I just can't put it into words. And I know some of you new, you think I'm full of crap. I am. But having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, I get to carry this message and act like a knucklehead in front of y'all. From the bottom of my heart, coming to Daytona Beach, Florida, to Port Richey, and now I'm going to go have dinner with you. And I'll probably keep my mouth shut, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.